it's time to crown a world champion here at our World Championships. It's Gale Force eSports going up against Method. Ladies and gentlemen, at MGM National Harbor, I need to hear you get loud right now. The last match of the season upcoming. Here we go. Shogun, the final carpet of the cocktail.
The world is at stake. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're currently looking at is Champions Field, and what you can see on your screen
is our faces.
Well, right now you can see our faces, but previously you could see the names of every other world champion. By the end of this, we're going to know whose names will be added to that stadium.
There could be 3 new or 2 new. They said it on the desk. Turbo, the first player with a chance to give himself 2 world titles. He could do it. He did it last season as a substitute for his team, and now he's trying to do it as a starter. Can he pull it off?
Turbo Pulsar jumping, as you said, from substitute to world-class player. And I'm looking forward to a world-class grand finals. Ladies and gentlemen, game 1, Gale Force eSports versus Method. And we are going to get ourselves started on one of the old favorites, DFH Stadium. Let's see who can take game number 1. And Carpet, you had the pleasure of watching the previous series. Method have now been on that stage for such a long time. How have you seen them change?
I mean, just a huge part is their ability to think no matter what kind of pressure they're under. Even when they were losing, they lost the first 2 games and then won 4 unstopped. They're just able to really figure out what the team is making the mistake on. The moment they saw Cloud9 giving them space, they just
Kane off with a pass over, and it's going to go up to Magnus with the last second save. Gale Force will happily take their time. They have great opportunities out of almost nowhere. Turbo, the long flick. All 3 members of Method have been committed. But Violent Panda would have needed a great touch in order to give the power to outpace Method on the back rotation. Turbo Pulsar. Physical pass over to him, but it is blocked. Yet again, Method doing a very good job holding themselves on their goal line and launching forward to get the block on the passing plays that we are seeing from Gale Force. Now Magnus trying to find a way through. First goal is so telling in this series. Violent Panda with a flick, looking for Turbo Pulsar. Didn't quite get there, and a lot held his nerve, playing the ball rather than looking at Turbo.
Gale Force seeming to be just 1 shot away from putting a lot of these in. They get the shot or they get the pass, but then no one's there to follow up for another one. They're not doing them in succession.
Oh, wow, what a bump there, but a lot will come in with not just the biggest of all saves. Turbo Pulsar was monstrous in Game 7 previously. That is the tap straight down to Metsnaris once again with the clear. Method keep getting caught, but they are also always having that 1 player around who can come in and save them in the most dire of situations.
And that again is where Gale Force, you'd like to see them take a 2nd or 3rd shot right off the back of those. They are forcing that last kind of panic defense where the 3rd player has no choice but to use everything he's got for the save. But then Gale Force aren't pushing through. But again, game 1 of the series, they have 6 shots right now. It says Method 0.
Still searching for a way in is Method, whilst Gale Force continues to prod away. Turbo flicks off, he's got 0 boost, but he might still make this. Gonna go off the post. Almost the perfect situation lining up for Turbo Pulsar. Method still trying to find a way in. That stage right now has got to feel like a second home to them. They've played for so long, now ball off the crossbar. And as you said, the follow-up was coming in from Violent Panda, but it is just a little bit too late.
Gale Force trying to control the midfield, which clearly they've done. If you just look at the shots again, 7 to none. Method haven't been able to have any kind of pressure in their favor.
Metsnaris wants to get there before Violent Panda. A lot goes underneath the ball. Method are still happy to keep the shadows going. They usually work a lot better during a game where more challenges are happening. This one, though, very end-to-end. Challenges only be happening when a shot could potentially come in. Violent Panda now one-on-one against Magnus. Tries to bring the ball out. Metsnaris with another flick. And a lot choosing to stay back. This is something that we usually see, though, from these grand finals matchups. Everything is on the line carpet, and usually teams want to prioritize defense and not make mistakes.
I mean, those are a tad risky. You're always going up, assuming you'll have to deal with some sort of 50-50 situation where you're trying to win on the contest, but you never know what you're up against. And at this point, you know that everyone is making sure that every single touch has purpose.
90 seconds remaining. Gale Force have had control for the most part. Here comes Kato with the double tap. And that control will be converted into the first goal of this series.
Metanars thought he had time for this, taking in, trying to drive this out, wanting to pop underneath, but Kato, with too much momentum on his side, hits it to the corner and then pushes it in. Solo play from him.
It's a method. He said that they hadn't had much offense. They need it right now. 1 minute and 25 remaining. Currently finding themselves 1 goal down. Hopefully this will be the wake-up call for them because they've been very offensive so far. But Magnus, great read from him, will bring them back into the match.
I mean, this was just trying to outplay your opponent in just a single situation. He just wanted to get a 50-50 from Turbo, try and contest that, tackle the ball from him. Worked in his favor, though, straight into net. And off of kickoff, Gale Force were a little bit hectic, and they spread out too far.
Even that ball low on the wall for those sort of plays can be so dangerous because the only way for it to go is further in field. If you lose the 50-50 challenge, then you are definitely in trouble. All tied up, 1 minute and 10 remaining. Star is going to take his time, going up early. Tap down, just trying to take it around, but there are 2 players around from Gale Force. Waiting for their chance, flicking it out. Here comes Kadoff, taking another shot. You'd love to get himself the brace, but the follow-up from Turbo Pulse are off the word work, and another follow-up. Kadoff gets his second.
Remember earlier when we said they weren't following up their shots? This is what happens when you do. There's nothing that Method can do. They're just sitting on the ground. They're all slowly losing boost with every save they have to make. They were all clumped up, no one on the backward, no one contesting it at that kind of box out quarter area. I still haven't figured out a name for what to call that. Slightly out of net.
The danger zone.
Danger zone.
Keep the ball away from that. Do not let it bounce around. You will not be under any danger, but Method are currently in danger of dropping game number 1. They have got limited time to bring themselves back. And whiffs like that from Magnus will not help. Violet Panda going to consolidate the problem with his individual play. With a lovely flick up. Gale off the backboard. You can see now Gale Force refusing to overcommit. It is just smash the ball into Method's end. Not worry about the consequences. Instead, just position yourself around and make Method do all the work. 13 seconds remaining. It looks like that strategy might very well be the difference maker. Violet Panda gets himself up. It's going to drop down somewhere dangerous. It's the last place Gale Force want to see the ball right now is a lot. Try to take it around, but game number 1 goes to Gale Force eSports.
If we've learned anything from the past 2 series, though, a loss means almost nothing to Method. We know they can bounce back. But just take a look at the shot differential yet again. 12 shots to only 2 for Method. They never got it out of their half. And even when they did, they had no control. Now it was their turn to play reactive to Gale Force.
Gale Force, some of the most experienced players around in this very young esport, admittedly. Just see how fast they've grown mentally. Remember, Turbo Pulsar back in Season 1 was out in the very first round, and ever since then, making his RLCS return, he's been unstoppable.
And, you know, when you talk to any of the pro players and see where Gale Force is so strong, their rotations are nearly flawless. They very rarely will double dedicate. They always know when to turn around. They're so quick to that as well. And they always do something great with it.
Yes.
They don't just turn around and smack it and hope for the best. They always have something in mind, whether it's to carry past the defender, hit it off the backboard, go for a pass. They love the infield passes. And right now, they are dominating Method on offense.
Absolutely. I mean, you did mention it there. Gale Force's main strength in that rotation. So many times we do see them half rotate. Never recommend it to anybody out there who is playing solo standard, but Gale Force, they have an understanding of one another. Just never play solo standard to start.
They're going to do it anyways. You don't have to recommend it. That's how everyone solo standard plays.
But they just have that natural knowledge of knowing, okay, I'm going to half rotate, and you're still not going to double commit. In fact, they usually get themselves into a very good position. Speaking of good positions, 1 game to the better in our grand finals is a lovely place for them to be. But Method do not want them to sit comfortable for long. We are going to hit ourselves into Manfield. See what happens in game number 2. Method looking at least for some more offense at the very least in this match. Kept quiet. Score of 2 goals that were the difference makers in the previous match. Good passing play, a lot takes the shot, but it is straight into the body of Violet Panda. Remember, just need to not take the shots too early. Gale Force will always have someone on the line, so the closer to the goal you can take the passing shot, the more chance you have of catching that defender out.
Watch. Joe, and I'm sure you've noticed it too, how well Gale Force space out. They utilize so much space, especially on defense. their defender always has more than one option, which is what makes it so easy for them to save themselves from dealing with these volleys of shots.
Gale looking for a wave, but instead it's going to be TotalPulsar with the touch. A lot will be by himself. One touch, he's only got 6 boosts, so instead he's going to back out and leave it for his teammate. Still somehow the ball manages to magnetize its way over to him. So a lot now downfield. Still don't think he's got any boost ever since being on the backboard, so it's going to be a huge struggle for him to set up any play. Boost control, huge thing over in Europe. Both these teams knowing that they want to control the midfield as much as they possibly can. Metznaris has to find a way through. That is going to be a loose touch, but it will be followed up from Violent Panda. The challenge from a lot is loose as well. Magnus tapping it straight down. A lot is an option for them. So from a couple of games in the last series between these two teams to just find his role that little bit more. That's going to be a long ball. Magnus pulled out of position, and that is an open net. Gale Force with the first goal yet again.
You'll take anything you can get, but a lot quieter from Gale Force. Only 2 shots for them, and this one wide open. The pinch over Magnus. Method getting caught out just a little bit too far, but they wanted to try and control that midfield since they struggled so much in their last game.
Something that you can just never quite predict. You know that challenges are coming, but often players will always position themselves knowing that the ball's probably just going to stay neutral, somewhere around the players that challenge, but when the pinches happen, you cannot position yourself for that. No one expects it. Big challenge for Metznaris, not a lot. He just managed to make contact. He would have found Magnus over on the far side. 3 minutes remaining. 1-0 is the current scoreline. Magnus will get another long clear, but unfortunately for him, the usual strategy of a lot being in the midfield is not yet in play. They need to control their own boost before they can even try and do that. Magnus, the tap, and then prioritizing the boost. You can see just how much that meant to them just to get that. They still have yet to reach the halfway point in this match. Plenty to play for, but the slower pace coming out is suiting Gale Force. Another long ball. That could go in yet again off the crossbar. Method needs to start watching out for this. They've almost been caught out for it twice right now. And yet again, Magnus goes in for a challenge. Everyone on Method has to try and rotate back. Shot goes off the crossbar. Violent Panda with the setup. Here comes TotalPulsar. That's going to put up to 2-0.
Just playing a quick game, a keep away right in front of Method's net. K-Dop away from a lot. And then Violent Panda away from Metz and Magnus, who both dedicated for that, which is usually something they don't do, but they tend to play that 2-man defense very confidently together. But you mentioned it, the hard clears. I think, again, Method are starting to feel uncomfortable when they're not on offense. They don't like to play defense. They'd much rather be volleying it up to a lot, who's there for the shots, there for the redirects. And the longer it takes them to get there, I think the more impatient they're going to get.
Magnus gets the corner. Method still trailing by 2. Now they trail by 3. Gale Force are making this grand finals their own.
You know, you start to think maybe Method are getting a bit fatigued. They've played so much in just the last 2 hours. They've had to deal with so much in the series. I don't know if they're looking tired or not. Sure, you're taking a glance over there.
They look normal to me. I mean, it's hard to look happy when you're 3 goals down with 2 minutes remaining. Violent Panda would like to make them look even worse with yet another shot, but straight into the body of Magnus. But yes, Kama, you are 100% correct. It is a long day, and they've gone to Game 7 against Gale Force, and immediately have to respond the match of their lives against Cloud9, where they were also down by 2 good games and 3 goals. That does take it out of you.
But if they can be down by 2 games and still start to turn it around, it means they're not out of this game at all.
Drop straight down. TotalPulsar. Plenty of time. That's got Magnus right behind him though, and did make it slightly difficult for himself. Pass straight out. Metznaris too close, and another long clear from TotalPulsar. They're making every single use of these long clears, and it's catching Method every single time. Maybe not the goals every single time, but it does mean Method have got no one on the halfway line to keep the pressure going, and it ensures that they've got even more reprieve on the defense.
I mean, it's the smartest way to play in the lead, right? You've got the lead. You don't need to, dedicate yourself to their half. But if you can get these hard long clears when they know they have no choice but to try and overcommit, then you can force them to use all their boosts to retreat, and then you have that extra 20 or 30 seconds of downtime.
I love how teams change when they're in the lead. They go from every single creative possibility running through their minds to, I'm going to hit it really hard. And that'll be fine for the time being. And right now, there'll be no complaints from Gale Force. Still 3 goals to the better. Method trying to put something together, but every single member committed yet again will be followed up, and there is the 4-goal lead. Method are trying, but there is no results to show for it.
That will be a hat-trick for TotalPulsar as well, following that ever so eloquently, getting a couple of flips on the way. You're looking at Method right now. They have to commit. 30 seconds left. These goals at the end are probably going to be not a whole lot to them because they understand, you know, you're down by 3 with 30 seconds, just go for it.
Absolutely. I mean, the turnover time between them winning the previous series and coming into this one is extended, but still pretty short in the long run. So I think they're going to need to take these 40 seconds ever since the game's been effectively done, speak to one another, get refreshed, and understand that they have done this before. They literally just got finished beating Cloud9 from this position, and they need to do it yet again because game number 2 is going to go over to Gale Force in dominant fashion.
Now, Shogun, when you're playing against a team that's this clean, the rotations are that tight, and they're as fast and mechanical as you think, what do you do with the ball? Do you try and do the solo plays, drag it up, and then try and win some contests? Do you try and find an empty spot to smack it at somewhere in the backboard and follow that up? What is Metin supposed to do right now to break through on this Gale Force team?
It's a very difficult thing to do, but it's the thing that I harp on a lot during our regular season, but I believe in it entirely. Boost control is everything, especially in Europe. Gale Force have not had full control of the middle 2 boosts, but when they get the opportunity to put the siege forward, they control Method's boosts at the same time. If you're Method and you're trying to hit the ball with nothing, you're not going to go far.
I mean, boost control is kind of the patient way to win the game. It's just the slowly bleeding your opponents dry until they can't reach even the easiest of shots. Something I haven't seen out of either of these teams in quite some time are bumps and demolitions. I think that will be huge against these teams.
I think Turbo met his quota early on.
That is true. He had quite a lot earlier on. But Gale Force, for a team that relies so much on that individual player in the back to do such a good job, if you take him out, you remove him from the pitch, that will leave so much more for Method. And we know that their shots are so accurate, they can then start to find just the tiny slots available.
Now, I do feel like the situation might be getting to Method just a little bit here. A lot, usually their option in the midfield. He goes for a challenge, doesn't necessarily care if he's going to win it, but he is now an option. He's not doing that this time around. He understands that this is the grand finals, and he seems to be rotating a lot more, trying to bring himself into a regular defense. I don't think it's going to work as much because they're not getting the results for it. So, we're going to go back to DFH Stadium. Gale Force looking in control of this series, but Method have already shown multiple times today that they are never to be counted out. Mesnaros gets an unlucky touch heading in towards his own net. He does just try and take it around the world. Method do need to get their opening goal in this match. Pass him straight down. Turbo looks for a long clear. This time Method are holding people in the midfield. They've managed to grab hold of middle boosts. The mistake there though will make it more difficult for them. Had stage 1 complete, but couldn't quite complete stage 2. Now they've got to try and play this out of their own half. Violent Panda looking for another big clear, but Mesnaros should be there in time. Instead, no, jumped up pretty awkwardly. Turbo looking for another shot. He's not got anything else on the mind right now, has he? It's just ball, shoot, and hope for the goal.
I mean, it didn't even need to be shoot. It's just ball and smack it as hard as the game physics allows you to hit. Turbo Pulse has had some of the hardest clears I've seen all day.
It's a lot. Mesnaros will steal the boost on the far side, but Turbo Pulsar on the half rotation grabs the ball and takes it away. Now K-Dot 1v1. You might as well not even be there. K-Dot gets the goal.
Look at how clean this trap is. K-Dot jumping a bit early. He's like, never mind, I was going to go for this. Controls his car beautifully. There's nothing Magnus can do. How do you predict a player to land that smoothly?
Magnus had already reacted. He thought the ball was going to go into the corner. He started to turn his car around, and by that point, the damage was done. K-Dot only had to try and finish off. And Gale Force are just looking like world beaters at this point in time. Method have to find a response. They have to find it quick, because this series is starting to run away from them. Magnus, he's got options down in front of him, but instead takes his time, respecting Violent Panda on the challenge. K-Dot with another shot. K-Dot with another goal. 2 goals, Gale Force.
Right now, he's the one that's turning up for his team. Him and Turbo Pulse are just taking turns with this field. K-Dot just being there when his team needs it. Turbo and Violent Panda. Violent Panda, you can say he's been quiet, but he's been helping his team get set up for these positions. He's the one that's helping them on defense. He's the one at that midfield, pushing it up so that they can have possession.
It's a very simple role that Violent Panda builds. It is the I'm not going to make a mistake role.
And that is hard.
It's an incredibly difficult role to play, but it can be so crucial. It frees up every single player. Turbo Pulsar, once again, the option downfield is what they used earlier on in the upper bracket final. And it seems like they are happy to stick with what ended up getting them the win. A A lot. Big clear. K-Up taps it down. Here is a lot's opportunity. Sets it up for Metanaris. This would be huge for them. Gonna bounce up high. Drop straight down, and a lot comes in. Method needed that.
I mean, this is just winning your contest, getting the tackles that you need. A lot in Magnus, making sure they don't get a hiccup in the corner. Metanaris coming from seemingly nowhere, pushing that through, comes right off the crossbar. Unfortunate for Gale Force, but thankfully a lot was waiting patiently on the ground, and Method will keep this to a one-goal game.
2:56, 2 goals to 1. Gale Force will take advantage of the kickoff, and Turbo wants to take the shot. They do not want the 1 goal to stick for that long. But now Method need to find their situation, and they need to start finding one another. They've taken advantage of a rare Gale Force mistake. Do not expect that to happen too much. Don't expect it to happen too often. K-Up just going to take his time. I don't really intended that to happen, but now hands the ball over to Method, who looks for the setup. A lot is a pound, but Violent Panda just gets there, and he almost managed to get yet another block. But Method with control of the field. They do need to convert, though. They have control of the mid boost as well, but Turbopulsar finds the pass. If you get a block here, that will allow Gale Force to move their rotation forward, and suddenly it has switched Method on the defensive.
Turbo has helped them gain so much control. He'll push it up, get it past 1, even 2 defenders at times, and that lets his team start to gather that mid boost and then push up with him and keep the pressure onto Method.
1:50. Here's the shot from K-Dot. He would love for another goal. He has hit shot after shot after shot, really stepping up in the grand final. Metza does take the boost, takes it around K-Dot as well. He's got an opportunity to try and set up a lot. We'll have to do a lot with this. Ends up leaving it instead. Taking his time. Seems like Method are going to try and do exactly what we said earlier on. Try and bleed out Gale Force, taking every single boost that they can and waiting for that big mistake.
I mean, you can see that they're getting that comfort. The moment they have that boost in midfield, their pace seems to almost double. They're starting to try and beat Gale Force as much as they can, but even on defense, they're such a solid team.
These big clears, yet again, the difference maker. Gale Force down to the other end. Method need to just lock them down, but with Violent Panda having the ball up that high and in his control, becomes that much more difficult to do. A lot with the shot, and it's straight down the middle. A little bit more over to the left, and we would have been looking at a tied game. Now K-Dot trying for his own version with the setup, but no follow-up. Gale Force not going to commit to something they don't need to. Here's Metanaris. Didn't quite get enough contact. Magnus already on the way back. There's a lot of occasions where Method are jumping for 2 players when they really don't need to. Verge, if they keep doing that, of going back down by 2 goals. There's the reverse shot from K-Dot. Metanaris just tips that over the top. The follow-up from K-Dot. Once again, down the middle, but always on pressure. Gale Force are 15 seconds away from tournament point. Method have to do something about this, and they have to do it right now. But every single time they get offensive pressure, it is taken away, and they are feeling the stage weighing on them. If this ball touches the floor, as it does, Gale Force 3 games up.
Shogun, great precursor, talking about half rotations, and it's what Gale Force is doing to stave off Method. You see their speed just increase so much once Method gets that mid boost because they feel so much more comfortable.
I don't think Violent Panda's ever been so happy to have 85 points in the game. K-Dot, 7 shots to his name, 2 goals and 1 save. To say he's been the MVP so far of this series would be an understatement. He is dominant.
9 shots to 6 though, so it's only a 3-shot difference, which in reality isn't much, and only a 1-goal difference, which is even less than 3. Surprised with that, I'm a genius.
That is good. Your math right for a change.
Yeah, finally. For the first time, Method, they really...
on the biggest stage possible.
Method just seem a bit sluggish, but I think it's because they're out of their comfort zone. And Gale Force understand that. They know what keeps them out of their comfort zone, and that is boost. So you starve Method of boost. They can't do what they say they are, and it's to be one of the world's fastest teams.
And with the mistakes that are being made, Method are having the right ideas, but hands are shaking, hands are sweaty, and it is currently 3 games to 0. I was actually speaking to Turbopulsar before this series even started, whilst Method were taking on Cloud9, and I asked him, who would you rather play? And he said Cloud9, because I never want to go through that again. Turbo right now is instead going to give him the second best option there, which is to control the series and take himself his 2nd World Championship. Method need all the energy in the world right now because they have to turn this around. Carpet, that is the potential best start they could have gone for. But for you right now, Method, yes, they are struggling with the whips, but what else can they change?
I mean, it's just hesitation. I feel like they're fearful of how quick the Gale Force can turn it around, and they're staying almost too spread out while Gale Force are shadowing each other. They're staying very close. They're getting those half rotations, turning around when they know that they've got control for it. Method feel like not themselves. If they just had confidence in what they can do and understand that, you know, following close isn't going to kill you. And then they'll hopefully be able to start pushing it past that midfield line and then grab those boosts themselves.
Magnus doing some damage, trying to do it backwards as well. Setting up the opportunity for Method to start. Sort out their rotation, grab some offensive opportunities, and Magnus will take that offensive opportunity, but just isn't quite able to make contact. Still not going away. Magnus a little bit late on his jump. Could potentially have turned that in, straight down to the other end of the pitch. So annoying to play against Gale Force. Those long clears often made even harder by having that midfield player just to try and redirect it that little bit more.
I mean, it truly cuts off Method at their source, which is constant pressure at the midfield. Once you clear it all the way over, they're all left to have to turn around, use the booster retreat, and stop you from scoring.
There's a lot. Needs to win. Doesn't quite get the block to go in his favor, though. Now Magnus up in the air. Still yet to get that one big play to happen for them. It's going to be like if Method are able to just sort out one of their classic passing plays that they start to feel more comfortable on this stage. But the match has got to feel almost alien for them right now. Nothing that usually works is working out for them. A lot looking for the tap down, but still contact not quite made, and K-Dot can push the next shot over into the corner. A lot. Picking the ball up high. Mets Norris doesn't find any boost in the far corner, so he's got to try and retreat most of the way back. Almost cruelly, it turned up 2 seconds after he left. Another big block. 2 there from a lot. Trying to make himself as big as possible. Not allow Gale Force to grab themselves with their first goal. Magnus 3 jumps. This is going to be all 3 members from Method trying their hardest to hold on to this 0-0 scoreline. They know that they cannot afford to concede first. Metsonaris just once again for Method, an inch away, a hair's breadth away, but a lot powers the ball into the middle, and that is what they need.
On a quick turnaround, and for the first time this series, they lead in shots by a huge number. 5 shots for them and a single shot for Gale Force. A lot finding the tight angle in the corner. When you have such a tight angle and you take a shot, it actually usually catches your opponent's off guard because they don't expect you to attempt something so difficult. But you see a lot able to sneak it on through.
Metsonaris will be happy with his positioning to push the ball away. We've spoken a lot about the mentality of Method, but let's talk about the mentality of Gale Force as well. This is their opportunity to become world champions. The closing out game is always the most difficult in every single series. And maybe they're going to offer the opportunity for Method to move back in by just saying to themselves, all right, no mistakes and we win. It doesn't work like that. You have to play every game at your best. A shot from Turbo Pulsar, not on target. Magnus is flick. Just going to keep it dangerous for Gale Force. They want to try and move in, but instead backing out. On the wall, Magnus just not able to win the ball. K-Dot's going to take his time. There's actually an open net. He does sky the shot, though, follows it up himself, and there is K-Dot yet again.
This was on a lot to make contact with this. It was very difficult to read, though, but once he did, they had made that dedication of pushing it over, and now K-Dot, he's not going to miss that. A clinical backboard read, and they'll keep the game tied.
Gale Force are 1 minute and 52 seconds and a single goal away from becoming world champions. Method still trying to find their feet in this series. They have just been outpaced and outclassed so far, but looking stronger in Game 4. Magnus on the wall, but Viner Panda straight back down the middle. Metsonaris with the ball up high. Just trying to see if Gale Force want to offer a mistake that they try and gobble up. Gale Force offer them no such thing. Now Viner Panda, he's got options, he's got Turbo! But there is Metsonaris yet again, a defensive rock. And they can play down to the other end, but a lot jumps and just can't reach the ball. Metsonaris now will be by himself against Viner Panda, who does win the challenge, but Magnus there to keep the ball away. More and more shots peppering away at the Method net. A double commit could spell their doom. They have to try and keep the communication up and make sure that they trust one another. They're also starting to run low on boost. Finally, Metsonaris, the player with the most boost on the Method team, comes through, helps them get rid of it. But it is merely for a breath. Turbo Pulsar one-on-one against Magnus. Couldn't quite make opportunity for his team, and a lot down to Magnus. Will be challenged yet again by TurboPulse. This has turned into a midfield battle between both of these teams.
We'll see a lot of trading now back and forth as Gale Force a single goal away from calling themselves the champion. You might see a little more passive play to them just out of fear.
Turbo now chase this down. He's going to be against Metanaris, who does miss. Will allow a lot to move himself in, but now Violent Panda, his single carries have been very dangerous so far. Looks to try and break yet another one. Magnus and Metanaris need to come together. This could be the biggest overtime of Method's careers, and they've already been in some huge ones. TurboPulse gonna try and tap this down. Still will not touch the floor. Instead hit the ramp. Magnus sets himself up for the double tap. Gets it all the way down, and there is Violent Panda. Every single player on Gale Force crowding themselves in the goal, refusing to let Method through.
One goal separating Gale Force from that trophy. Can they keep it together?
There's TurboPulse gonna go up high. And Method's chance. They're opening a lot. Got time. Looks at Metanaris, but powers it just a little bit too far. Mets are also very low on boost. Turbo with the setup. Method on low on boost as well. Caleb just about gets the shot, but it was not powerful enough. Yet another set. How long can Method possibly hold on for? They have to get this out of the half. As Gale Force relentless all across the pitch.
Not great. A lot missing that.
Violent Panda leaving it for Turbo. There's a lot on the far side. He's got Magnus to aim for. Magnus knowing better to move forward for that. That means that he can cover the defensive side. You say it one more time. One goal for Gale Force. Crowns them world champions. And that could potentially be the opportunity, but Caleb too far forward to latch onto the loose ball. This guy's already played incredible overtime, leading to 6 minutes. Turbo to Caleb on just about there. Follow up with Violent Panda, but he ends up hesitating, doesn't want to take the shot. Maybe saw a lot right next to him, aiming for the block. Oh, with no one back on Gale Force, they would have been completely open. It is time to start shaking if you're in this theater, because Method are barely holding on to their chances. Violent Panda with the whiff, but Caleb is back in support. Another big shot, just trying to see if Method will make a mistake. Big touch there. Metanaris will avoid them losing this series, but Method cannot hold on for too much longer. They've got to transition this, but Gale Force just, they are everywhere right now, and they refuse to give up. They want to finish it on this siege.
They are everywhere, but they don't want to be in too many places at once. We saw a counterattack from Method, nearly making it in. Now pass to Mets. Magnus, will it stay alive? He couldn't sink it in.
Still around in the offense. TurboPulse looking for a long play, but there is a lot. He's got time. He's got option, and his option is Magnus off the backboard, but Violent Panda is already there. Huge opportunity for Method, not turned in. And now Turbo just takes a shot. He's going to look to try and still boost in the background. Magnus, a big win here would have helped, but able to do so. Thankfully, he's got the Shadow just behind him, and his Shadow's name is a lot. End-to-end gameplay now in this overtime. Method still fighting with everything they have. Violent Panda flicks it over the top. He's still got boost. Aims for the shot. It's off the backboard. Follow up from Caleb. He's just not there in time. But TurboPulse up high yet again. Caleb was looking for bumps on a lot, who just manages to avoid him.
Nice contest from Metanaris.
There is a lot. Just doesn't make contact with the ball. Looks to try and put it back down yet again, but there is no follow-up, and he actually takes Magnus out from the rotation. Maybe Magnus had the better option there, but we will never find out. A lot. Once again, the man at the back. A complete role reversal for him. As he is now powering the ball time after time into the Gale Force half. But Method with their first major opportunity in this overtime. And it's turning into another one of those long ones. Magnus just couldn't make contact. Once again, a lot on the Shadow, unable to get to the ball. Kadoff looking for Violent Panda, but he's not got enough boost or the positioning to move forward for the shot. It's got to be exhausting for every single player on that stage. End at any moment, Carpe.
Yep.
That's pretty much the right response right now. Violent Panda looking for the backboard. TurboPulse went for one of those bump plays. Worked out so well in Game 7. Almost looking for it to work out yet again. Method back, their backs against the wall. One touch, Violent Panda looking for the tap down. Look at McCade off the shot. Once again, too loose. K-Dub, he's had a couple of opportunities now to end this series. Needs to give himself some more space to run onto. Nobody back except for Turbo Pulsar. As that boost starving has saved Gale Force in this scenario because the one player around Metznaris who just couldn't get there. And once again, a lot. The final player in the back. He refuses to go away from that net. Just wants to stay there and ensure that nothing can possibly go wrong.
They're trying to slowly gain ground, and have they? No! Turbo will be there to block off Magnus. Block wanting to find someone to pass it to, but no one is there.
Metzo going to take his time, take this ball as high as he possibly can. Over Turbo Pulsar. Shot was not quite good enough to get past Violent Panda though. Norris wants to try something, but both these teams happy to retreat. Barely any midfield challenges at this point in time. Magnus plays it on its own. Metznaris now got the set, but here is a lot yet again. Playing that defense, and now it's going to start costing Method. He's being too tentative at this point. Method have had opportunities. They need that championship killer instinct. Metznaris grabs Boost. He's got to turn around quickly, and he will get there in time. 5 minutes, 22 seconds of overtime. That could have been it. Turbo Pulsar gets the flick. This is insane right now. This is the top quality of Rocket League with everything on the line. You can tell how much both of these teams want it just by the way they are playing.
And you can tell how scared they are to go all in. You might have to take a little bit of risk to finally put an end to this excruciating overtime. A lot just falling too far back, not able to be there for the final shot for his teammates.
We are only ever seeing two-man offense. Turbo Pulsar looks for the setup. It's going to be too far away, and the block comes in from Magnus. Method starting to pick up the pace on the counter-attack, but it was blocked yet again by Turbo Pulsar. The midfield currently belonging to Gale Force eSports, and every single reward that reaps. Now two players caught by the side. Metznaris can't get there! K-Dub wins!
Turbo Pulsar, the world's best substitute last season, and one of the world's best starters this one. Him, Violent Panda, and K-Dub have proven just how skilled they are, no matter how much they wavered throughout league play. They brought it out here, undefeated at Worlds.
2017 will go down as the year of Turbo Pulsar. Gale Force, always second, not anymore. They step up on the biggest stage. They do not drop a series. And look at them, they are so pleased with one another. Ladies and gentlemen, your world champions, Gale Force eSports!
He's held up that trophy, he's taken the victory, and after what seeming like they didn't even break a single sweat this entire tournament, Gale Force eSports will find themselves at the top, and Method, huge props to them as well, coming in second for their first showing at RLCS at LAN. Unbelievable play from every single team, but Gale Force are proven to be the best.
I mean, I'm here as our token European, but I can't feel any more happy for these guys. I mean, I'm emotional, dude. You please talk, please talk.
How can you not just feel incredible? Turbo Pulsar, you know, you looked at him last season, and the fact that he's come this far, he's stayed at the top. Almost no one has been able to do this. Almost no one has been able to stay at the very top, and now he's the first one to crown themselves 2 championships. Violent Panda and K-Dub, they have found themselves in highlight reels after highlight reels, topping stats season after season, and now they can call themselves the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us hear from our world champions. Golden Boy, over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Gale Force eSports! Your Season 4 champions. And we have to award an MVP. And I couldn't think of a better person to award an MVP to than Mr. Two-time champion, Turbo Pulsar. Congratulations, you're the MVP. Here's your medal. Turbo, now here's the thing. Honestly, if I'm being honest, listen, everyone here had moments. K-Dot, you're like kind of a demigod at this point. Panda, you're the leader. You're the one who keeps them going. Turbo, though, this is your second championship, man. How do you feel?
I have no words, like, to be honest. I feel like K-Dot should have the MVP award, to be honest.
Well, you know what? You could do whatever it is you want to do with the MVP. If you want to give it to K-Dot, by all means, go ahead. Look at that. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Hey, you know what? Everyone is an MVP. You're all champions. This is incredible. Now, Turbo, one last question here. You came into this tournament, everyone felt like you were the heavy favorite here, but you had an opportunity to play against people who you considered to be close friends in the final, and I know that must have been a great experience for both of you, both teams really. So any words for Method, your opponents, but also for the fans as well, as this is your moment?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who was watching, cheering for everyone, not even us, every team. Playing Method in the grand final of RLCS is actually amazing. They're great friends. I wish we had played Cloud9 as well, but things change.
Hey, there's always next time, right? There's always next time. Real quick, I just want to get just quick words. This wasn't like in the script, but why not? Panda, any quick thoughts?
It feels amazing, man. No, nothing else. It feels amazing to stand there and just winning this tournament finally.
K-Dot, we don't get to hear from you that much. Just short, anything you want to say to the people who have been cheering you on?
Thank you for the support. It feels good to be the world champion, you know. And thank you very much. And voilà.
There you go. All right, guys, give it up one more time for your champions. Let's send it over to Axel Toss to break it all down.
What an incredible weekend that culminates in Gale Force eSports as your Season 4 World Champions for the Rocket League Championship Series. Back here at the analyst desk, Axel Toss, Gibbs, James Lawler. Gentlemen, what an incredible tournament that we got displayed in front of us. Gale Force going all the way through the upper bracket and remaining there the entire way to be your world champions. Method played it as close as they could in that first series they played. But Gale Force figured something out, and they're able to get this week.
I'm so happy for these guys. This summer, they were made for this very reason. Second place at DreamHack Summer, then second place at X Games, then second place at DreamHack Atlanta. All led, but all that experience of losing led to this very moment for this team, and what a payoff.
Yeah, it truly is a team of all-stars. You could not ask for a better run if you're Gale Force. This rematch of the Universal Open, 2v2 champions K-Dot and Violent Panda will now on the world's biggest stage, the RLCS World Championship. They take it down, and what a series, what a run it was.
Can we finally, squelch the question of who the best player in the world is? Turbo Pulsa to go from sub to that performance, hands down, Turbo is my best player in the world.
And 2017 for Turbo, life-changing.
Oh my goodness.
Life-changing for him. What a performance from him. He even rewrote the script. He gave the MVP away. Yeah. He gave it to K-Dot, who probably was the best person in that last series, but the series before versus Method, that 7-game series, Turbo played out of his mind.
And he even pointed out himself, he felt like he made a mistake, which led to that Game 7 to begin with, but still able to bring that back and get that series victory to push them into the grand finals and then just cruising it home against Method. Let's take another look at that last series. A sweep for Gale Force eSports, your Mobile One high-performance replay. Gale Force, your world champions.
And K-Dot was just all over the field. 6 goals, 2 assists out of the 10 goals. It seemed like Method had no answer for this Gale Force. It seemed like Method was a bit exhausted going into the series.
Emotionally, they must have been exhausted with how many games they had to play today, how many overtimes. If you remember the Game 6 from the previous series, another massive over 5-minute overtime. Method managed to get that win, but this time with their back to the wall, Gale Force was able to prevail.
I mean, Method didn't make it easy for them. Every single game except for Game 2 was within 1. It was a battle back and forth, but it just goes to show what you can do when you have that core group. Violent Panda has not gotten enough credit. I know Gibbs, you've been on the Violent Panda train for quite a while, and boy does he deserve it. Those subtle bumps, those cheeky little passes, just everything this team does as a unit is why they are so strong. It's unbelievable to see how it really plays out in the end.
But what a final this was, the battle of yin and yang. We had Method, a team, didn't make any roster moves, thought that that was the right answer, while the complete opposite for Gale Force. They made blockbuster move after blockbuster move, picking up K-Dop, and then, of course, Turbo Pulsar, you're now two-time world champion. And it seemed like that was the right answer for this season, but we have plenty more seasons to come.
Yes, we do. Let's take another look at the final goal to secure the World Championship victory for Gale Force Esports. 6 minutes of overtime. What? Someone add all the overtimes up.
It's just Gale Force coming through when it mattered most. They wanted this. You could tell how hungry they were, and they did not relent. Method, after 6 minutes and 11 seconds, finally gave up that game-winning, that World Championship winning goal.
And we didn't have a lot of overtimes throughout this World Championship, but every single one seemed to last at least 4 minutes. It was just passive play. No one wants to make that mistake. And finally there, Violent Panda caused just enough chaos in the corner where K-Dop could sneak a shot in.
I mean, it just goes to show their play style. That very end, every single person in a position to attack, they sent the house, and it finally paid off. The defense from this Method squad is something you can't take for granted, and they didn't. They respected it, they gave their positioning, and then in the end, they just put one away.
So Turbo, our tournament MVP. We also have an Old Spice player of the day that's different from Turbo, and he's from the North American team that made the deepest run, pulling off the most ridiculous plays. It is Squishy Muffins, your Old Spice player of the day. Moms and sons agree. It practically smells itself. Congratulations, Squishy Muffins from Cloud9.
And what a carry that was. He carried them through Northern Arena as well. It seems like every live environment is when Squishy Muffins shows up. And he scored probably the best goal we will ever see in a World Championship match.
Yeah, you said it, Gibbs. It looked like he pulled a Matrix dodge. Doing that backflip to barely miss the ball.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Look at this. Spin to win. Right there. Boom.
God.
My goodness.
We will remember and reference that shot for the rest of Rocket League's history.
And that looked like the car actually bent around the ball. I don't know about the hitboxes anymore. Sonics, please fix. I'm not sure.
And of course, we're seeing defense from him as well. It's ridiculous performance in the goal. 3 saves, back to back to back. And Cloud9 was so close to taking out Method. Remember that. They were up 2-0. They were up 3-0 in that game. But Method able to bring it back. Squishy Muffins, though, a huge part of Cloud9's push throughout not only the regular season, but also this World Championship event.
Unbelievable.
And then, again, Squishy scoring 5 out of the 6 opening goals. He was just a huge part of that effort today. Even though they fell short, Squishy should still be proud of that performance.
I mean, how can you not be proud of that performance? Obviously, those guys on Cloud9 are really hard on themselves, and they have proven that, like, they can win lands, clearly. But for the first big stage to be top 3, like, that's nothing to be ashamed of. That's unbelievable performance.
Well, guys, that's going to conclude our tournament. Let's take one more look at our championship bracket. Best of 5s again throughout. We had 3 best of 7s at the very end. Gale Force and Method going all the way to the upper finals, and then from there, Gale Force cleaning it up.
This was by far the most competitive, closest World Championship that we have ever seen, and I think that we will ever see for a long, long time.
But look at this run by Gale Force Esports. 3 games to 1 over G2, a 3-0 versus Ghost. 4-3, their toughest challenge versus Method in the upper finals. But as we go down to the lower round, we see Elimination Saturday really hurt. Of course, Energy, probably the biggest upset with Chiefs beating them, and then taking Cloud9 to 4 games, 2 overtimes. They made an incredible run and almost pulled it off. And then Mocket falling to G2, another one of those teams. Kronovi, the other world champion here, making a run.
Big story as well. You can't forget about Ghost. The story of Stop Doubting Us, getting all the way to that lower quarterfinals, just trying to make things happen. They do it there, but still eventually falling short. And then we get G2 bounce back season of redemption.
Yeah, absolutely a season of redemption for them. And the first time that we've had 2 North American teams in the top 4 again. All the regions, North America, Oceania, and Europe, all getting closer in terms of skills, but yet again, Europe claims that title as world champion.
And once again, the grand final is an all-European affair. 7 of the 8 spots in the grand final have gone to Europe, and they are now back #1 region without a question.
What an absolutely incredible tournament. Gale Force Esports, your tournament champions. That's going to do it for us here at the Analyst Desk. But before we go, I just want to say, guys, it has been an absolute pleasure the entire regular season and this World Championship event. Any final thoughts, guys, before we close out?
I just want the show to end so we can go hug all the players, hug the winners, and console the losers. This is a family, and we're all here for each other. I love you all.
I love you too, Gibbs. I love you too, Lawler, Axel Toss, all the crew at home. And I 100% agree. What a year. What a year for Rocket League. I cannot wait to see what 2018 has in store for us.
It just goes by so fast. I think that's something that we always forget about, of how quickly these seasons come by. Like the fact that it's almost already December, like this year. Yeah. This has been a quick 2017, so make sure you cherish the moments with these guys and everybody else behind us. You guys are crazy, so loving it. It's been great.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. That's going to do it for us here. And again, a special shout out to everyone involved with the show, from all the broadcasters here to everyone behind the scenes. There's an incredible amount of work that goes into making these championship events happen. I really want to say a sincere thank you to everyone involved, including the community, including the fans, everyone who showed up here, everyone watching online. On behalf of Twitch and Psyonix, thank you for watching the Season 4 World Championship, and congratulations to your world champion, Gale Force eSports. We'll see you next season.
Got two in the corner. Continues to bump Classics. Squishy gets the lob and the demolition. That'll be the fourth one for Cloud9 as they are trying to sink this one before halftime.
He's going to try and jump straight down, but now Rizzo on the other end of the pitch. Oh, Rizzo! He will hit it straight into the goal. How exactly that works, but Kronovi tries to take his time. Once again, G2 are holding on.
Jacob, any shout-outs, anything you want to say to the crowd, the audience, before we let you go?
Oh, hey, Mom, back there. Did I see you guys? Any signs? No, they're gone.
And because you're so panicked, because the game is going so fast, it's very easy to make the wrong decision, but Violent Panda is full of correct ones. Great pass. Violent Panda carrying it across the entire field. Nobody is back for Method. Gale Force have got themselves into our grand finals.
Was the scoreline in game 3. Cloud9 unable to take it to Squishy. Now with a daily shot, he puts it through. He's been going for this stuff all season, and he pulls it off here in the most clutch moments. The player to invent the shot himself is able to get the delayed front flip. And just the flick over Gimmick and the play over Squishy. Torment falling back. He'll get the stop, but is it enough? Metzenaris is up onto the backboard a lot. Airport drops it down. Possibly the nail in the coffin here as the Method is taking a lead.
It's going to be Gale Force eSports versus Method.
There is the 4-goal lead. Method are trying, but there is no results to show for it.
That will be a hat-trick for Turbo Pulsa as well. Following that ever so eloquently, getting a couple of flips on the way.
Single reward that reaps. Now two players caught by the side. Metzenaris can't get there.